Now I know what you're thinking, Derails. What the you lying son of a... You said Guild Wars was the best game you ever played. Now it's Fire Emblem Three Houses? Yep. Welcome to another review in 2023. Full disclaimer, this is my biased opinionated review of Fire Emblem Three Houses and why it is the best game I have ever played. I am not paid by Nintendo, Koei Tecmo, or Intelligent Systems to say this. This is just me praising a video game I love. I have to say this because in my last review video, I got all these comments of people saying classic paid review. Not really, I'm joking. Obviously, it was just one person who I know personally, and he's just being himself. Unfortunately, I do not have any of my gameplay captured, so I'm going to use a picture of my physical copy of the game for the video. I also feel like it's cheating to take someone else's gameplay or trailer footage to make a video, so I won't do that. Fire Emblem Three Houses was released back in 2019 for the Nintendo Switch. I did not start playing this game until 2022. I have only played three Fire Emblem games, including this one. The other Fire Emblem games I have played are Fire Emblem on the GBA, aka Fire Emblem 7, the Blazing Blade, and Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube. For Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance, I played all difficulties, all campaigns, unlocked all support conversations, and leveled up all characters to max. I have spent some time on that game, and it's amazing, but with that said, Fire Emblem Three Houses is the best Fire Emblem game I have ever played. The first reason, difficulty settings. Fire Emblem Three Houses is the first Fire Emblem game I have played with a casual mode. Thank the gods for casual mode. I can now play a Fire Emblem game without the anxiety of permanently losing characters. It also has classic mode where once a character dies, they are dead forever, never coming back, ever, gone. Like this is some real life shit right here. The difficulties paired with casual or classic are normal, hard, and maddening. Now my first playthrough I did normal casual so I could focus on and enjoy the story without worrying about getting wrecked. For my new game plus, I played hard casual, slowly ramping up the difficulty without ramping up anxiety. I have only completed 2 playthroughs, but plan to play every difficulty and storyline in the future. The second reason is New Game Plus. This is the first Fire Emblem I have played with a New Game Plus mode. With New Game Plus, you can carry over Renown, a type of in-game currency, battalions, and the progression of your saint statues. Battalions are a cool system, but I didn't use battalions that much, so I didn't see them as valuable, but hey, take whatever you can get, right? Renown is an incredibly valuable resource, and when playing this game, it is in your best interest to farm as much Renown as possible. If you plan to do multiple playthroughs, which you should because there are 4 different story paths. 4 story paths? It's called Three Houses, why is there 4? Mind blown. We will get to that, and with the DLC there are actually 4 houses. Again, we will get to that. Anyway, your saint statues give bonuses to experience for various stats, and it costs Renown to level them up. It is in your best interest to do so, because in New Game Plus, you can use Renown for each character to purchase abilities of classes that you previously mastered, progression of level skills, for example, sword, axe, magic, etc., from rank E to S+, support conversation progression from rank C to S, and professor level. Renown can also be used to purchase various items, but just by playing the game and amassing gold, you get plenty of items to use, so I do not recommend spending Renown on items. Everything I just went over with difficulty in New Game Plus bonuses like Renown were never in previous Fire Emblem games. Not the ones that I've played. So these systems alone make it a great game and my favorite, Fire Emblem. The third reason is leveling and the absence of arenas. Now, Three Houses has a max level cap of 99 for each character. This is huge compared to the classic level cap of 20 in previous games, and it's unnecessary. I played roughly 150 hours of this game between my two playthroughs, and on hard, by the end of the game, my characters were between levels 50 to 60. There is no need to level any character to 99, and you can only do this on normal since it's the only difficulty where you can play unlimited battles. Throughout the game, there's an energy system based on your professor level. At max professor level of A+, you get 3 energy for battles and 10 energy for monastery events. In hard and maddening, every battle costs 1 energy except main story battles. These are separate from the battle mode. On normal difficulty, there's always one battle option that doesn't cost any energy. It's the lowest level option, so you can farm it as much as you want. Battles are the main method of farming experience for character levels, and the battle mode includes paralog battles, which are like side quests. Unlike previous Fire Emblems, there are no arenas in mission maps, so you can't arena abuse to farm experience. Die-hard Fire Emblem fans know probably all too well about arena abuse, whereas newer fans are probably like, what the hell is he talking about? In Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance, you could use the arenas that only appeared in specific missions to basically power level any and all characters you brought with you on that mission. Doing this would also net you tons of gold, but with every battle, you would risk character death unless you were very careful. Thankfully, with all the modern systems, Three Houses there are multiple methods of building character stats, supports, obtaining gold, and items. By doing every possible quest/side quest that pops up, you will have plenty of resources, therefore arenas aren't necessary. With all that said, the anxiety of performing arena abuse on hard difficulties is gone. Fire Emblem veterans know all too well. In past games, you could arena abuse 9 out of 10 characters in a level, and on your 10th character, they could die in the arena, which leads to the decision. Do I scrap my perfect run of losing no characters and continue without them, or do I restart the entire level and redo all the arena abuse to retain my perfect run and feed my OCD? So no more arenas. Maxing out character level is highly unnecessary and a waste of time, and various methods of character progression make this game much better than its predecessors. Reason number 4. A little bit on magic. Magic spells are learned based on a character's skill in reason or faith. Reason is dark and color magic, while faith is light and white magic. Also, each magic spell has a limited amount of uses per battle, and they refresh for every battle. You no longer have to buy magic tombs like other weapon items. I like this new system for magic. The only downside is characters who don't start with magic won't learn spells until the magic skill is at least, I think, a D, if I remember correctly. However, once learned spells are perma-equipped, unless it's a class-specific spell, and don't take up item slots in the character's inventory. This makes the characters more versatile. Another tidbit about this is any character can rank up any skill or reclass to any class, so they're not locked into a class or weapon skill like in previous games. Bring on the versatility and strategy building. I'm all for it. Also, unlike previous Fire Emblem games, which move from mission to mission, Three Houses takes place 1 month at a time, and each month has its own story mission at the end of the month. During the month, you can explore the monastery, engage in battle mode skirmishes or side quests, or hold a seminar to teach your characters and skills. This month-by-month system allows a lot of additional gameplay, character building, and side content in between each story mission. It also plays into the aspect that you as the main character are a teacher, and depending on which house you choose, those characters become your students. The additional gameplay content also includes gardening, shopping, cooking, fishing, battle tournaments, reading notes, choir practice, and visiting the sauna or psychic. All these systems are very small and basic, but they serve a function for gathering resources, getting timed buffs, or building support between characters. Which brings me to reason number 5. The support system in this game is fantastic. 1, there are tons of ways to build support between characters. Using the main character you play as, you can recruit almost every character in a single playthrough using the support system and or leveling skills. The only characters that are unrecruitable are the main characters that apply to each different storyline. For example, the 2 main characters of a house like Edelgard and Hubert. Maximum support levels vary between characters from rank B to S, and every support level comes with stat bonuses, dialogue, and a mini cutscene. Oh, the game is completely voice acted, and each character has a unique voice and personality. Another method of building support is inviting characters to tea time. Honestly, with how much dialogue options and support conversations exist, plus how cutesy the tea time system is, it almost feels like you're playing a dating sim. I think it mostly comes from the tea time function. It just does not feel like Fire Emblem. Since that system is minor, it's unnecessary, which allows you to completely ignore it. Every character is unique and well written, so all the bonus conversations are entertaining and enjoyable. They also give background and understanding of each character, which leads to growing attachment and developing feelings for every character differently. Most of the characters are likable, some not as much as others, but that is all opinionated and depends on the person playing the game. Bottom line, even though these are all fictional characters in a video game, it makes them feel like real, relatable people. Plus, they are living in a world that is peaceful on the surface, yet corruption is very much present underneath. Sound familiar? Is this real life? This is what motivates the storylines of each playthrough and why change occurs in the world. This brings me to reason 6 for why this is the best Fire Emblem I have ever played, which is the story and the 4 possible storylines you can play through. The 4 paths are Adrestian Empire, Kingdom of Fargus, Leicester Alliance, and Church of Saros. Warning, spoilers ahead, but the game is 4 years old, so deal with it. Whichever path you choose, it paints the chosen faction as the good guys, and the other factions become potential allies or enemies. I played through the Black Eagle story following Edelgard and the Adrestian Empire, as well as the Blue Lions following Dimitri and the Kingdom of Fargus. In choosing Edelgard, her motives and actions, although extreme, are very much justified. She wants to bring change to a world she knows is corrupt by taking drastic measures and wasting no time. In this path, the Church of Saros is painted as evil and the puppet master pulling the strings in the world using the power of crests. The Kingdom and the Alliance both align with the Church of Saros in this path, so everyone becomes your enemy. Personally, Edelgard and Felix are my favorites. Felix reminds me of Sasuke from Naruto. Since Edelgard was taken from her family and experimented on against her will when she was younger like Lysithea, she knows how the people in power use crests to control the world, and she wants to change that. I was like, hell yeah, girl, let's end this corruption. I am with you all the way, even if that means starting a war and bringing change by force. Comparing the Empire storyline to the Kingdom one, Edelgard still starts the war. I think this is a common factor in all playthroughs, but I don't know for a fact, so don't quote me. However, when choosing the Kingdom, you're fighting an empire that has stolen crests to use purely for power. And Edelgard's motives are still the same, but she is painted as evil because she is willing to corrupt herself with demonic power to no extent to gain what she seeks. So one playthrough she maintains and fights for humanity, and in another she is willing to sacrifice it. It's almost like playing the game in a parallel universe. Some events are similar, but slight changes make opposing factions to be painted differently. I liked Edelgard's story because it was straightforward and made sense compared to Dimitri's story. That is all Dimitri's story is all over the place, and that irritated me a little. This is mostly because Dimitri as a character is mentally unstable, and even when you're trying to direct him along the right path, the game has a predetermined path for him that you must follow. The kingdom allies itself with the Church of Saros. This is mostly due to Gilbert being a knight of Saros, but previously being a knight of the kingdom. In this playthrough, the Empire and Edelgard are painted as the villains since they wage war on the Church of Saros, as I mentioned earlier. What confused me in this playthrough was the Alliance. They remain neutral, and at one point they attack the Kingdom army while you are fighting the Empire, so I'm thinking, okay, they can't be trusted, and are also our enemies. Then a few missions later, the Empire is attacking the Alliance, and Claude asks Dimitri for help. Claude is the leader of the Alliance, by the way. Dimitri is a noble at this point and no longer insane and decides to help him. I'm sitting over here like, didn't they attack us earlier on when we fought the Empire instead of helping us? Why should we help them now? Anyway, other than the flip-flopping decisions Dimitri makes because he goes from insanely revengeful to just and noble, the storyline is still good. I enjoyed the mental break Dimitri has and how he falls into darkness, which eventually leads to his redemption and growth as a character. But why must I follow the orders of a madman? I know he is the heir to the throne and rightful king of Fargus, but I pulled him out of the darkness and brought him back to the light. So until he has mentally stabilized, my protagonist's decisions should have held more weight. Just my opinion, though. Last but not least, I will touch upon the DLC real quick. Everything about it is a bonus. A nice additional storyline that takes place in the middle of the Three Houses main storyline. The DLC adds 4 additional characters that make up the 4th house, the White Wolves. Again, each one is unique and comes from a different background. They are like the misfits in the shadows, low lives that the world has forgotten. They are all likable because they are fighting for the impoverished people the world has wronged. Also, with the DLC, you get access to the sauna and psychic systems. Anna the Merchant becomes a recruitable character, and you get access to a bunch of new crest items. The DLC is difficult. I played it on normal casual, and it challenged me. It plays like a classic Fire Emblem title where you move from mission to mission. There isn't any additional content that allows you to farm or power level, and you can't recruit additional characters. You get a set roster of characters who start at set levels, and the game is like, good luck, this is doable, but it will test your strategic prowess. So with all that being said, bottom line, Fire Emblem Three Houses is a phenomenal game. It retains the feel of a classic grid, turn-based tactics strategy game, while implementing new modern systems to make it feel fresh. I also appreciate how good the animation is when units attack each other. I personally watch the animations every time. Fire Emblem games never disappoint, and that's why I give Fire Emblem Three Houses a 100 out of 100 in 2023. I highly recommend buying and playing this game with the DLC.